Theo, what should we always be sure to do in this problem? We're going to multiply by 1. Something over itself. Something over itself. Iser, what is the conjugate for this problem? Look here. And to make that 1, I'm just going to write that above in the numerator. And this just leads us to yesterday's problem, right? So now I can just distribute that. And over here I have a binomial times a binomial. So let's make a table. I'm going to have a radical 3 and a negative radical 2. Radical 3, positive radical 2. Let's multiply. We'll simplify later. Class, radical 3 times radical 3 is? 9. Radical 2 times radical 3? Because they're both inside the same radical, it's radical 6. Positive. Negative radical 2 times radical 3. And negative times a positive. Negative, and this would be radical 4. We learned yesterday you can also use FOIL. So I have radical 9 plus radical 6 minus radical 6 minus radical 4. Recognize that these are the same, they're just opposites, so you can cancel. Think of it as a positive 1 and a negative 1. Class of radical 9 is?
3.
Radical 4?
2.
So 3 minus 2 is? 1. So in this problem here, if I distribute the 1, it doesn't change. So radical 3 plus radical 2 all over 3 minus 2, which we said was 1. And I don't really have to write the 1, do I? So my answer is radical 3 plus radical 2. Let's go ahead and try the other problem. Partner A tell partner B, what is our conjugate for that problem? Kimberly, what is our conjugate here? Correct. Now in this problem, I'm going to have to do 2 sets of boxes, right? So here I have 3 minus 2i, negative 1 minus 4i, negative 1, whoops, negative 1 plus 4i, negative 1 minus 4i. Let's go ahead and multiply. Three times negative 1. 3 times negative 4i. Negative 1 times negative 2i. And negative 2i times negative 4i. ai squared. Partner A tell partner B, I squared equals So this is 8 times negative 1, which is negative 8. Okay, so 8 times I squared is negative 1, so 8 times negative 1, not 8 minus 1, that's wrong. 8 times negative 1 is negative 8. So now I can just combine like terms here. So this becomes what? Now you're adding. Negative 11 negative 10i. Remember, our goal is to simplify. We're trying to get rid of this I there. Let's go ahead and now multiply the denominators. Class, negative 1 times negative 1. Negative 1 times negative 4i. Huh? Positive. Huh? Negative times negative, yes? 4i times negative 1. And 4i times negative 4i. Negative 16i squared. I squared becomes what? 1. So I have negative 16 times negative 1, which is 16. And you guys see how that's the reason why we do the conjugate. It's a difference of squares problem, and these will cancel. This is a positive 4i, and this is a negative 4i. If I just combine like terms there, my answer is what? 17. So notice in this problem, you went from an I, which is square root of negative 1, to now you have no I or radical. In this problem, multiply by the conjugate. Make sure you're multiplying by 1. Be careful when you have I squared because it equals negative 1.